It's a very good morning to you. Welcome to Asake Online. My name is S01EPS18, and this is the Breakfast Club, a show where we talk about current affairs, politics, and any other issues that happen in our communities. I know this year most of us are anticipating, talking about, anticipating the issue for elections, talking about who's going to be contesting which seat and all those kind of things. But also, let's not forget that the politicians that are in power right now, or they're in office, and that will be seeking re-election in 2018. They promised us a lot of things. They promised us, Canaan, a land of milk and honey. But in the last 5 years, did they deliver? Did they carry out or do what they promised to do? And one of the things that we'll be doing in this program in the next few weeks and months is actually going to interviews that we did with councillors in 2018. That is the Bulawayo City councillors, finding out what they promised and also then playing back. And we hope that in the course of the weeks that are coming, we are going to invite these councillors again, check with them what they managed to do and what were the challenges that they faced. What is interesting is that most of the issues that they talked about were quite interesting. They were relevant. They looked like very brilliant councillors who knew what they were doing. They had their agenda set for them, and they really had priority areas that they thought would be addressed. But 5 years later, most of the things that they talked about were not done. They still have the issues and so many things. They talked about street lights. They talked about roads. They talked about investment in the city. Nothing has materialized in the last 5 years, and the question is why? And if nothing changed, are they the right people for the job? Are we voting them again and hope that they will correct their mistakes, or it's time that we look for new energy, new ideas, new people, and we replace them? I think we need to be very serious when it comes to service delivery, when it comes to local government elections, because these are the people that affect our lives every day, when it comes to sewage, when it comes to water, when it comes to collection of bins, when it comes to health facilities like local council clinics. And we need to be very serious and very meticulous on who we vote for in the office. Today in the program, we'll be talking to Silas Chigora, who is the ward councillor for Ward 4. In 2018, he talked to Ishmael Mkandla, who asked him a number of issues about his ward, and he said, I think one of the things that he said in the interview, he said there are no cranes in Bulawayo. There's no construction that is happening. 5 years later, do we have cranes in Bulawayo? Or the buildings that we have are collapsing? So let's hear what Chigora had to say in 2018.
Welcome to the program, Councillor.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for coming, and we'd like to congratulate you for being re-elected into council again.
Thank you very much. Okay,
my first question is, I want to know the campaign message that you're sharing with the electorate as you are campaigning towards these elections.
There were so many messages that we are using.
Yeah.
We're looking at what we have done as council throughout the whole term for the past 5 years. We're also looking at the possibility of improving from where we were left on the past term. And so many messages, I have to say.
Okay, but was the message also including some of the concerns that the people were highlighting as you are campaigning?
Yes, obviously people are raising a lot of concerns. For example, roads decay. When you look at the potholes that are littered around the road, people have been complaining. When you look at street lights,
yeah.
They are not on. Maybe 30% of them are working. People were complaining about clinics. People were complaining about generally the environment.
Okay.
So we were responding to those.
Share with us, because some people do not understand, or neither can they differentiate the roles of a councillor and of an MP. Can you share with us some of the roles and responsibilities of a ward councillor?
The roles are almost similar, except that the levels are different.
Yeah.
A councillor is directly responsible for service delivery at the lowest level. He is the interface between local government and the people themselves. You realize that an MP has to attend meetings in Harare, but a councillor is here, for example, in Bulawayo, attending meetings at council chambers. But in terms of responsibilities, the public want to see development. development, they want to see it coming from the local level, directly from the councillor. They are also expecting development from the MP level, though the MP is not directly really responsible for example, roads, water, sewage, clinics, and so forth. So the roles are interchangeable.
Okay, you say the roles, the councillor is not directly responsible for water, roads. So then who is responsible?
I'm saying the MP is not really responsible for that. Okay. That's the role of a council.
Okay.
But if I can expound on that,
yeah.
A councillor, when he is elected for 3 roles. One, for making policy at council level. Number 2, to represent his ward, represent the interests coming from the people at council level. And also oversight. That is supervising, making sure that policies are implemented and use of resources are controlled. So those are the 3 roles that the councillor has at council level. And the MP has got the same roles, but at a higher level, at central government level.
Okay. Can you share with us some of the challenges that you actually encountered from your previous term? And how you overcame them?
A lot of challenges, Ishmael. You know, the residents expect immediate service delivery improvement when you go in. To me, I think they think that the councillor is given resources by council to go and do development in his ward. And yet it doesn't work that way. A councillor only goes to the chambers and put input, articulate issues that are coming from the ward. But you are not really given to say, this is the money that you should go and use in your ward. So those are the challenges, that misunderstanding between the resident and the council. The resident expect, if the street light was not on, the moment you get in, they expect that to be on. And they think the councillor, why is he failing to just put on a street light? They think that you are given money to go and fix. But you are not directly given resources. You are only going there to almost report like the resident would do on a daily basis. They are only using you as an individual, as their representative. So those are the challenges that we have been facing, lack of resources. When you look at how council is operating the budgeting system, it's a consolidated account where every other resource, everything that the resident is paying is put into one pot.
That's good.
Yeah. And that's the major challenge. I would have expected that as council, we need to move away from that, where all monies are put in one basket. I expect a change to say, if Ward 4, for example, is paying $1 million, I would say, I know for sure that on average, Ward 4 is paying about 400,000 per month. So I expect a certain percentage from that amount to go directly to the wards, to my ward, because we are paying different amounts. Okay. The other wards could be paying maybe 80,000. The other ward could be paying maybe $1 million. For example, Ward 1, I know they are paying roughly around 800 to 900. So that should then be cascaded to service delivery.
What are some of the achievements that you made during your last term?
I've just alluded to this budgeting system. I think we have managed to introduce what we call the 3% retention fund, where we are saying 3% of what is paid by residents should be directed to service delivery that is related to specific wards, because we have specific challenges and problems in each ward. So our council managed to introduce 3% of water retention. We also managed to introduce what we call community groups. where we have now about 3 of them. One for general maintenance of the environment. We have street sweepers, people who are going around picking up rubbish and putting that into litter bins. And we have also managed to have another community group that is responsible for storm drain clearance. We have also another that is responsible for emergency pothole patching. So I would say that came during our term. And also we had, when we came in, the refuse removal trucks were outsourced. Yeah. When we came in, we managed to stop that, because that was actually taking a lot of money from council. We stopped that. We are now using our own internal trucks to collect and dispose the litter. We also managed to buy equipment for roads, for servicing of stands and roads, tippers, bowsers, and so forth. Yeah. So those were partly, I would say, our achievements during the term.
As the entire council.
Yes.
What are some of the things that probably the policies that you would like to take into council this time on your on this term?
A lot of expectations from the, like I indicated, our roads infrastructure is deteriorating every day. So our new term, those that are coming in, including myself, I think we must take the central government head on in terms of revenue that is supposed to come from government to maintain our roads. Yeah. I'm sure you are aware that when residents or motorists are paying their vehicle licenses, they are paying to Cllr.
Yes.
And Cllr is not giving us enough money to repair our roads. Yeah. If I can take you back, I have had to read that, from the records. In 2010, May, we used to collect about 310,000 per quarter.
Yeah.
If you look at that figure and compare the number of vehicles that were there by then, and also the number of vehicles that we are currently having in Bulawayo, I think the number is either multiplied by 5 or even 10 times. So it means also that revenue would have been also multiplied by 5 or so. So that means per quarter we were supposed to be getting by now in the region of 1.2, 1.5 per quarter. That would give us some substantial amount that could be used towards the repairing of the. So that is one area that we need to take central government seriously, to say Cllr should tell us how many cars are in Bulawayo, have been registered in Bulawayo, how much revenue is generated in Bulawayo, and how much are they giving us monthly or per quarter. So that discrepancy can then be exposed to everyone to see where the shortcomings are. And also, if you look at the issue of water, our dam supply, our supply side has always been problematic. We have 6 dams that were built even during independence. Before independence.
Yes.
Up to now, we have not even built any dam.
But the population is growing.
But the population, you have counterpart. Look at Nkulumani, Mkanwini. All those areas were, even Bomakandeni, they were built well after independence. Yeah. But the supply side of water has not increased. So we have a discrepancy there. And we have been saying to government, because it is government that has got the responsibility through Zino to build these big water bodies, supply for them to be able to supply the cities. But they have not done. What we have had are always promises, especially during election. Shangani River. You know, the capacity of that dam is more than the current supply dams capacities put together.
So meaning that if you connect Kwaishangani dam to Blawayo, our water problems will be solved?
Yes, will be solved.
Okay.
And that is a possibility. That can be done over a very short period. Look at how they've built Tokwem Coast. Over 20 years it has been built. But the cost of building that very big dam is quite higher than the cost of building Kwaishangani. So if the central government can build in Masvingo a dam with costs 800 million, why are they failing to build a dam Kwaishangani for a cost that is less than 400 million?
You seem to be highlighting certain challenges that you're facing as a local authority versus the central government. Do you have any plans to actually improve these relations and engagements with the central government so that you get some of these things that you're raising to be actually implemented?
We are just hoping. The quickest solution would have been, obviously, I don't want to talk about politics, but yeah. The quickest solution would be having, you realize that Bulawayo is controlled by opposition in terms of councillor.
Yeah.
At national level, the ministers belong to another political party. This is the discrepancy where you find, as a local authority, when we make our demands to a minister who belongs to a different political party, he doesn't take our issues seriously. But you would imagine if in the past election, if we were going to have the same minister and the same councillor from the same political party, then the two would then be easily held accountable to the residents, because there won't be any excuse. They would say, no, but this is your minister, this is your president, this is your councillor. There's no blame. But at the moment, you will find discord from the minister and from the councillor, and even the vice president, even the president. If you go according to what has been published in the print media, you hear the vice president saying this, minister saying this, the councillors and the people are saying, but why are you not building? Why Shanghai?
Let me take you back to the residents. Looking at Ward 4, it includes Benside, Ascot, Woolsgrove, Fortunes Gates, Manningdale, among other suburbs. How do you interact with these members of the community, considering that it's a low-density area and the people are far apart in terms of housing? Yeah,
that's quite true. The Ward 4 is the sector between Gwanda Road and Benside, like you mentioned, all those suburbs. So it is always difficult to put all those people at some time at one place and address them and hear what they say. Yeah. But what we have done now, we have formed committees in every suburb. There is a committee in Benside. There is a committee in Manningdale. Residents, I'm talking about resident committee. Okay. We have a very strong committee, Machemplop and Selpon. We've put that together. Yeah. So these are the platforms that I use. If they have issues to be taken aboard, I just go there, listen to what they have to say, and then take that to council. Once in a while, we call for meetings where everyone is expected to be at one place and get to know each other and hear the several views. But it's always difficult. I have about 20 suburbs within the ward. Okay. And we are using social media, WhatsApp groups, Facebook. That's what we are using to reach out to the people.
I'm sure if you're using social media, the youths are also involved in these locals, in these structures, and they contribute. So what is it that you would like to do for the youth of Ward 4, considering that there's no youth center, as in like Western suburbs? What is it that the youth of this side of town would want to see happening in terms of integrating them in the community?
They've come to me to say we are looking forward to be getting maybe sports ground. I have a group in Manningdale. I've actually given them a go-ahead to clear a certain bush there. The site that is, there's a ground there that is meant for a secondary school.
Yeah.
So I've told them, just go there and clear the bushes, and then I'll get a grader for you to level that ground, and you can use that as a play field. They can put their soccer. They can use that for soccer, for example.
Yeah.
But space is running out, especially in my ward. There are no clubs. Of course, we have Machemplope Social Club, but that is almost for mature guys, the people where they socialize there. Yeah. But for the youth, we are still getting sites where we can clear so that they can pitch up their sports ground. But I have always said in council, you know, we are sponsoring PSL team,
yeah.
Bulawayo City Club team. That funding, to me, I think is not appropriate. If we could use those funds, take those funds, give them to wards, then we can use those resources for the creation of whatever the youths want, instead of funding a football team. Last year, I think we used over $1 million
to fund
resources. Yeah, for travel, paying players, and this and that. If we had taken that money and say we are 29 wards, what is 1.2 divided by 29 wards? You would get some amount there. Then channel that amount into the wards. Then that amount was going to make sure that there is a social club, I mean youth center in every ward.
Yeah.
I don't see that, I don't think it is proper. In my opinion, of course, we are 29 councillors, and others have got different opinions. In my opinion, I don't think it's proper to fund a PSL club in Bulawayo. We have Boso, we have Chicken Inn, we used to have Haumai, we used to have Choloch.
All housed in Bulawayo.
All housed in Bulawayo. It's not like we are short of teams to support. I don't believe in that. I think we are misplacing our. But it's something that I will continue to say. I don't know whether my colleagues will buy that, but I think those resources should be channeled down to the wards where our youths will benefit.
You spoke of youth centers and recreational facilities for the youth. Do you think they're still relevant now that you are even holding your meetings and consulting with your residents via social media? Do you think they need youth centers or something different, or we need to reinvent the youth centers themselves?
I think we need to find out from them, the youth, whether they still want them. But in my opinion, I think they are still relevant. Because whether you are on WhatsApp, or you need somewhere to go. If you have a club where youths can go there, play games, whether these are darts, of course, I think you would say darts are old. But whatever game that you are playing, you need space, you need somewhere to where you can congregate, and whether it's, I don't know, but the youth can tell us what really they want. But I think the youth centers are still relevant. Yeah.
There's another issue that actually made a lot of noise for quite some years in Bulawayo, which is the issue of vuzu parties, where young people get together in these low-density suburb houses where there are no parents or guidance, and they tend to have fun, abusing drugs and alcohol. How have you managed to deal with these issues, considering that they most happen in some suburbs that are within your ward? Yeah.
This has been a challenge. You know, this, when it happens, you don't know that it's happening.
Yeah.
Because, look, in my ward, there are jura walls and high fences and all this. What will tell you that there is a function, there is maybe, if they put on the volume too much, then people will always say, but behind the jura walls, there's something happening there. And it gives you a challenge how you control that, except that you go to the police and say, can you go there and find out what is happening? But I think it all comes, it is a duty of every parent to make sure that You want to know where your children, or what games, where are they during the night, where are they during the holidays and so on.
Yeah.
But where it is, like you rightly say, where it has happened, there are children that have been left behind. Parents have gone to UK, South Africa, wherever because of lack of employment in Zimbabwe, and they leave their children here, and they start these games. They start these unwanted gatherings, and there's been sometimes a rape has occurred. There's been reports of, like you said, drug abuse, and all these other social ills. But it's always difficult to control this. But as councillor, you would then approach the parents or the relatives to say, are you checking on your children? If you go there the next morning, they will tell you, no, we were just having fun, and you don't know what was happening during
even the kind of fun they were having.
But I'm appealing to the parents. Don't leave your children all alone. Find a relative who is mature to make sure that they, of course, is controlling the kids.
Yes. This next question of mine is more of a personal question because I have seen the effects of it. The Kotini project. Yeah. How far had you gone as a council from the previous term about the Kotini project?
Kotini project is one project that we know is going to be successful. I have confidence in that project. You realize that it was a project coming even from the previous council. When we came in 2013, this project was already there. And it has moved stage by stage, and you would agree, slowly though. But I have all the confidence that the Godin will take off. If you also maybe consider the national economics, any investor who wants to come to Zimbabwe, to a city, would always want to weigh the options and the risks that are involved, and whether it is the right time to do it now or, I think that has been the major reason why it has not taken off up to now. But with elections over now, and it will be up to the investor to say who has gone in there. And I don't think the investor would, with the amount of investment that you have seen that they have closed off the area. Yeah. The council has already surrendered the area to the developer. So we await the developer to really come and continue with that development. It will be good for Bulawayo. It will create a lot of employment for us. It will be, I think for the past 10 or 20 years, the only meaningful development in Bulawayo. We have not had any new building in Bulawayo. I think the last was Fidelity Life Center. The BC, the Bulawayo Center, was built when? I think 15 or so years, if I remember. So you have not seen any crane in Bulawayo. I was in Gwanda. I was going to Bedbridge last week. When you get into Gwanda, when you are going to Bedbridge, the left side of Gwanda City, there are several buildings there. I think more than, I didn't count them, but there are more than 5 new buildings. You see that something is happening. But in Bulawayo, nothing. Nothing has happened so far in the past 10, 15 years. And we'll be very happy to have Godin taking off.
I have seen a lot of council employees chasing after vendors in the streets of Bulawayo. Just yesterday, they were doing it. And I wonder, shouldn't the councillors be revisiting the bylaws to accommodate the current economic situations? Because certainly those people, it's not their choice that they are sitting on the streets, but the council seems like they are not so willing to actually change the bylaws to accommodate the situation and the people who are actually affected.
You are very right. That's a very contentious issue. I would say vendors management is still necessary. Yeah. We are policymakers, and we know what is on the ground. We know how people are suffering because they are not employed and they are looking for any other opportunity to make money so that they can fend for their families. But that is not to say that we will encourage disorder within the city. You would say, look at, for example, Edgar. I'm just giving you as an example. Yeah. Not that I owe anything to. There is Edgar selling a suit there for $60. Edgar is also paying rates to council. Mm-hmm. There is a vendor who has just opened this bureau from wherever, selling a suit for $3. They both need, I would say, they need a council. The councillor to say, but you from the bureau thing, can you go at that corner and sell your items there? Since we have Edgars already established, Edgars cannot change from street to street, but these are able to change. So the challenge that we have as councillors and management and everyone else is to say, please, vendors, we know that you need money. They are actually now an industry. So what we have said is, can we give you space? Can we give you where you should be selling from? So that there is order. We have given, if you go to Highlanders Club, there are toilet facilities, there is water, tapped water there. And we have drawn a base there. And we have said, this is your area. Can you go in and sell from there? But they don't want to go there. It is either they ask customers don't want to go there and buy. We expect them to be selling along Jason Mall, along JM Nkomo Way. But we have banks there. We have investors that we are crying for to say they must come into the city and they make business. And all these people, they want some form of protection. You cannot expect an investor to be jumping on top of tomatoes while going into a bank or into an office to do some business transaction. So we are saying, we are saying, please vendors, can you make sure that you are selling outside Fifth Avenue, going to Highlanders that side, or any other place, Lopengula Street, going the other side, and leave the, maybe I would say, leave the main roads that have banks, that have these offices, these other functions, so that we maintain that order. So we are not really after chasing the vendor because we know our plight. But the vendors themselves, they are not organized. If they were organized, they would patrol themselves, form teams and say, maybe those that are selling clothes, they've got their own way of controlling each other. Those that are selling vegetables, they've got their own maybe security teams or whatever, to make sure that we have order right in the city of, you can imagine at City Hall, people are just coming there with tomatoes and everyone. How are we going to receive our international visitors, business people? So that's the challenge that we have.
That was the Councillor Silas Chigora, Councillor for Ward 4, talking about the issues and the things that he hoped to achieve when he was elected into office in 2018. From the people who are in his ward, did he deliver? Did he make use of his office to fulfill some of the promises that he made? We would like to hear from you how you rate him. Was he a good councillor? Was he responsive? And also we hope that in the next few weeks we are going to invite Silas Chigora to come and talk to us and find out what he's saying and how he thinks his term went and whether he's seeking re-election. Of course, in your wherever you are in your community, if you think that there are issues that we need to discuss or we need to talk about, there are stories happening in your community, there is a councillor or your MP that you think we should talk to, we are not only limited to Bulawayo, but we are all over Matabeleland. We can invite your councillor, your MP, talk to them and hear what they did and what they are promising for the next elections. You can contact us or you can contact us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on WhatsApp. Zonke, so that we can discuss about the issues that affect you, but also look at those people that we elect in public office. Are they doing what they promised to do? Or they just go there, do nothing, think of themselves, fill their pockets, and come for re-election again? My name is Zenzele Ndebele. Till we meet again in other programs, have a good day.